you? Let's see. Okay. Looks like you might be the only one here so far. Oh, hey, Nicholas. Hey, Trey. Good morning. At least it's morning where I am. Hey, Santa. Hey, Min from the Philippines. Hey, Steph. I know for some of you guys, it's like super late at night. Philippines anyway, right? It's like midnight where you are. Hey, Junior. Hey, Carlito. We have Henrik. Jesse Oakley. Oh, Vegas. That's just a few hours from me. Australia. Oh, is it 1 a.m. in Australia? Oh, you're driving. Okay, Frank is driving today. Kayla, how are you? J-Boy. Wolfman. Cool. We got a nice group. There's some names I don't think I've seen before. Hey, Colin. We've got Ice King. We've got Lord something. Miss Minerva. Lord J81. Lexi's room. Some of these names are going too fast, so forgive me if I don't see them. So, did I talk to you guys last week? Yeah, I did a Q&A with my mom. I forgot. I've been traveling a lot. I haven't been getting much sleep. 2:05 in the morning in Melbourne. Wow. Oh, sunny in Scotland right now. Hey, Amber. Cool. So we've got Trek Hill. So did you guys see the title today? What do you think I'm talking about in the title? I think the title of this message was something like, do you know where you belong? Have any of you guys ever felt like you didn't belong before? Have any of you ever felt like you didn't fit in? You couldn't really relate to the people around you? Like, oh, it's 11:06 in the morning in Kentucky. Oh, thank you, Kim Jong-un. Trey Daniels, thank you from Canada. You're so sweet. Thank you for my first donation of the day. Andrea, how are you? Henrik. So if you guys haven't been on the live before, what I usually do is I have a topic I want to talk about, or dare I say the word teach, since we're not in school. I have a topic I like to talk about for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then I get into answering all your questions. So, because I want to provide value, not just answers. So, have you guys ever felt like you don't fit in? Have you ever looked around where you're at, in your situation, with your friends? Yes, thank you for reminding me. I put on the do not disturb. Oralee was sweet enough to send me a text this morning and remind me to do that. And Vias told me there's a way I can program it on my phone. I tried to do that, but I didn't see where you could do it just for a certain day. So I think, oh, and Wisha, thank you. She says I'm looking beautiful. That's funny because the truth is, I've been so busy and so tired. I haven't washed my face in 3 days. I haven't unpacked my suitcase from my travels from Texas earlier this week. And these eyelashes are ones they put on me for a shoot on Tuesday, and I haven't even pulled them off yet. So what looks on the outside like, oh, you look good today, is really me just piecing together whatever sanity I have left to try to look okay. So that's beside the point. But I was like, oh, half of them have fallen off, but there's still a few just hanging on. Okay, hey, Wolf O'Neill. My camera's not clear. Oh no, do I need to wash the lens? Oh, I don't know if this is gonna help. Sorry, I'm like using my shirt to wash the camera. Is it more clear now? Andrea, thank you so much. Thank you for your gift. So yeah, sometimes what looks on the outside isn't what's really going on. All that being said, Did any of you guys answer my question about feeling like you don't fit in? Oh, it's 11 p.m. in Perth. That's in Australia? Is that where that is in Australia? It's still blurry. Is it blurry for anyone else? Can anyone else tell me if it's blurry? Because I don't know if it's her camera. You can try to turn your camera. Will you still see me if I turn the camera? Okay. Wait. Does that even work for a live stream? Or can you just see like a light? Okay, Philip says it's not blurry. Min says now it's better. Tom says it's clear. Derek says it's blurry. Karen says it's clear. Okay, so could possibly the people who see it blurry, could it be that the camera is not good, Tom says. I'm trying to clean it again. Do I normally have the problem? I'm doing the same thing that I do for all my live streams. Okay, Elena says it's clear. Who do I go with? The clear people or the... I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go with the people that say it's clear because I don't know what else to do. Otherwise, I would have to shut down and start the live stream over and on my laptop, which actually is a worse camera than this one on my phone. Okay, I'm gonna go with the people saying it's clear. I'm sorry if it's blurry for some of you. Maybe it's your internet connection. I don't know. Somebody's asking for Eli. Oh, here he is. I can't blow this balloon up. This goes for water. These are water balloons. Oh, you just add to it again. You just added air. Brittany says hi. Okay, good. Oh, Wolf is commenting on, Elena says hi, commenting on the topic for today. You're not going to get to, you could try, but you're not going to get like 50 balloons blown up at once. Yeah. Hi, Eli, say hi, Santa. Hi, Santa. Yeah, fitting in. That was most of my life that I did not fit in. It's something that I kind of still feel now, but I've gotten better at surrounding myself with people that are more in tune to my values and what I think are important. And I'm spending less time with those who I have nothing in common with, which is hard when you're in, it's hard when you're in high school or whatever, because you're still, Angela says she still battles that. Steph says, I have never felt like I fit in. Yeah, I felt like that for most of my life. Then I had the revelation that I wasn't supposed to fit in. And I was like, okay, good. I'm not supposed to fit in. But that can be hard if some people don't feel like they can do it on their own. Trey says, I feel like if you're trying to fit in, then you're not your own person and you're just trying to impress people who you don't need to be around. Yeah, been there. Trying to do things that other people wanted me to do to fit some kind of semblance of, I don't know, to be with their clique. Hanging out with people who cuss a lot. Suddenly you start... You want some of these? Yeah. Suddenly you start cussing a lot, or hanging around people that are always drinking. Then suddenly you start drinking, or whatever it is. There you go. Whatever it is, it's like we so desire to be loved. We so desire to be accepted, to be valued, that we want to fit in. And hey, Harley. My old English teacher, this is old Chip saying, my English teacher at English told us to learn English from social media, so I'm sad I have to talk to people in English with a translator. Oh, I'm sorry. Via says, surround yourself with those who bring out the best in you, not the stress in you. Yes, I've heard that quote before. Growing up, I've always been a lone wolf, and that is the way it is. I don't need the paparazzi. Okay, that's a good view. I'm in high school and I'm suffering depression and anxiety because bullies keep saying I don't deserve to have a girlfriend, and that hurts me. Okay, so a lot of you guys have answers. Thank you, Trey. I was born with 2 different colored eyes. There's a reason you don't fit in, and I want you guys to know what that reason is. So the reason you don't fit in is because you're surrounding yourself with people who are not at your level. Yes, VS, I've dealt with peer pressure, for sure. So what do I mean by you're hanging around people who are not at your level? What does that mean? Does that sound like an egotistical thing? Does that sound like, oh, you're not good enough for me, you're not at my level? Okay, I'm not talking about anything like that. It's not about being better than anyone. So I'm going to tell you a little story to drive this point home of why you don't fit in and why you don't belong where you're currently at. Thank you, Andrea, for the donation. You're so sweet. Okay, so I'm going to be reading from No More Mr. Nice Guy. This is saying goodbye to doormat Christianity. So anyone who's ever been a doormat, anyone who's ever been stepped on, anyone who's been used by people, this is a book on how to be bold and how to stand up for what you believe in. And I've heard this story told by other people before, other preachers and stuff, but I thought they did it so good here. And this is a message I want to get to you guys, because there are people that try to keep us down at their level. And we don't want to be around people that are trying to keep us down at our level when we want to rise higher, when we're meant for bigger things. And sometimes people around us, you've heard of the phrase misery loves company. Sometimes people around us will try to sabotage us, try to keep us down because they don't like to see us succeed, because then it makes us think that they're not doing anything. So when I'm done telling this story, we can talk about it a smidge, and then you guys can, I'll start answering all your questions. So just so you know, I'll let you know when it's time for that. Someone tells the story of the eagle egg. This is an eagle egg that somehow got into a chicken coop. The mother hen realized the egg was somewhat larger than the other eggs, but after all, she was a mother, so she sat on it. The eagle hatched and for a few weeks played the chicken game. How many of you guys are playing the chicken game right now? The eagle knew he was different. He knew that other chickens thought he was different. Why don't I fit in here? Why does this not feel natural to me? How can I not enjoy pecking around on the ground like everyone else is doing? The other chickens knew he was different, but they tolerated him. He tried to eat off the floor in the chicken coop like the other chickens, but it never felt right. How many of you guys have tried to fit into certain situations, to be around certain people, but it never felt right? He tried to walk like a chicken, talk like a chicken, and squawk like a chicken, but he couldn't quite pull it off. How many of you guys have been there? I'm trying to do what they're doing. I'm trying to be like them, but sometimes the eagle would look up at the sky and he would wonder, what is on the other side of the clouds? You ever sit there and wonder, you're with your group of people, you're like hanging out, doing whatever you do, and you're wondering, what would it be like if I did this thing? What would it be like if I reached this goal? What would it be like if I reached these dreams? And your friends, the people around you are like, get your head out of the clouds. What are you talking about all those big dreams for? That's not going to happen for you. You ever been there? Sometimes he would look up at the sky and wonder what was on the other side of the clouds. And he would say to his fellow chickens, don't you ever wonder what's up there in the sky? What's on the other side of those mountains? What would it be like to be an actor? What would it be like to be a musician? What would it be like to be the president of the United States? What would it be like to run my own business? What would it be like to fill in the blank with whatever your goals and dreams are that your friends are shooting down because they can't see the vision that you see? What would it be like to be on the other side of the mountains? The other chickens looked at him like his elevator didn't go all the way to the top. He thought there was something wrong with him. They thought there was something wrong with him. But you know what? That eagle, born in the chicken coop, never stopped asking questions and wondering what else was out there. What would it be like if I got out of my small town? What would it be like if I left this state? What would it be like if I left this country? What would it be like if I became this thing, this dream that is in my heart? Then one day, the eagle looked up to the sky and he saw a speck. The speck grew larger and larger until the eagle realized it was a creature just like himself, an eagle. And he heard the creature call loudly, and the call echoed against the chicken coop. And at that moment, the eagle knew that he wasn't a chicken. Do you guys have a mentor? Do you guys have a role model? Do you guys have some eagle in your life that is trying to pull you out of this low-level chicken coop you are in and tell you you can fly? You don't have to be pecking here around the ground anymore. You not only can you fly, you meant to fly. He knew he was an eagle now. So he flapped his wings and began to fly, and soon he was soaring into the clouds. So what is the problem here? What is the problem that this eagle had? The problem with the eagle wasn't just that everyone thought he was a chicken. You guys, I know a lot of you people don't think much of you. I know people put you down. I know people tell you you will never accomplish your dreams. I know people tell you it's not going to happen for you. I know people tell you you're dreaming. Get your head out of the clouds. Why are you thinking that way? You'll never leave this small town. You'll never become that thing. You'll never do that thing. You'll never have that wife, that husband, that whatever. You'll never put out your album. But the real problem wasn't that everyone else thought he was a chicken or everyone else thought he couldn't do it. The real problem was that he thought he was a chicken. And something like that has happened to us. Somehow we've gotten the idea that trying to fit in or trying to be a good person or trying to be a good Christian or trying to be a good Jew or whatever, that you have to be a wimp, that you can't be true to your convictions, that you can't stand up for yourself. And you start to become a wimp when you start acting like everyone else around you. But that can be overcome if you know the truth. If you don't know the truth, however, you can end up staying in a chicken coop for the rest of your life. We're not going to do that, are we? We here on Katherine Norland's community are not going to stay in a chicken coop the rest of our life. What are we going to do instead? Screw this chicken coop, Brittany says. And thank you, Anwisha. What are we going to do instead? How are we going to get out of it? Someone's saying they're being disrespected by teachers. Yeah, we're going to get disrespected wherever we go. People aren't going to understand us. They're not going to get us. They're going to say, you're dreaming too big. You can't do it. It's not going to happen for you. But what other people think of you and how other people treat you, that doesn't determine your success. That doesn't determine how far you'll go. That doesn't determine how far you'll fly. What other people think of you doesn't determine where you'll go in life, but what does is how you think of you. So how are you thinking of yourself? What are the words you are telling yourself? Are you saying, it'll probably never happen for me? I won't be able to do it. I don't have any help. I don't have anyone to do this for me. I don't have... Why are you cutting yourself down before you've even had a chance to fly? Why are you pecking on the ground with the other chickens when you were meant to soar like an eagle? When are you going to stop the negative self-talk? When are you going to stop the sabotage that's keeping you where you're at? When God starts answering your prayers and giving you your dreams, why are you going to quit a week into it? Why are you going to say, I can't handle this, I can't do it, it's too much for me? How about we trust that with God all things are possible? How about that we trust if God brought us our dream, then of course we can do it? Why are we cutting ourselves down? Why are we living at a lowly level? It has nothing to do with anybody else. You may say it's because my parents are keeping me down. You may say it's because of my kids are this. You may try to blame it on whoever you want, but it's the battlefield. The battlefield is this gray matter between your two ears. And until that is fixed and until that is right, you will never soar like you were meant to soar. So yes, there may be some cleanup you need to do with the people around you, but the biggest cleanup you need to do is right here. So when do you catch yourself saying, you can't do it? It's never going to work out. I'm not smart enough. I'm too dumb. I'm too fat. I'm too fill in the blank. Because you will never live up to anything higher than your own expectations. So why not expect the best? Why not think the best? Why not trust that all things are possible for you? Every single one of you on here is an eagle. If you can't see that yet, I don't know what to do, but tell you to keep watching my videos or read the Bible. Know who you are. You will never know who you are until you know whose you are, right? And that's another point I want to bring up that Steph brings up. Just because you don't feel like you're good enough, just because you don't feel like you're worthy, just because you don't feel like you have what it takes, doesn't mean you don't. Just means you don't know it yet. You haven't been trusting the right people. You haven't been reading the right books. You have been listening to the lies of the enemy that wants to keep you down. And Vias, you're right. He says, if you have big goals, why don't you take baby steps? Absolutely. Take tiny steps. You have a big dream. I suggest you get away for a day and you break that big dream down. Break that big dream down into smaller steps. And then you break those smaller steps down into steps you could do within a week. Then you break those weekly steps down into steps you could do within a day. Then you break those daily steps down into something you could fit in an hour. Whatever it is, you keep breaking it down and you promise yourself that you won't go and waste your day until you've done one thing for yourself each day, one thing towards your goals and dreams before you start ingesting all the stuff the world wants to thrust on you. I have an idea for a book. It's called The 7 C's to Success. And these are 7 daily habits that all start with the letter C that you need to do to be successful in life. I haven't wrapped my mind around all of it yet. First one, step number 1, always commune with your creator. Put your face in the book, the good book, the Bible, before you get on Facebook, before you get on Instagram, before you get on whatever social media platform is out there. That goes along with step number 2 on the 7 C's to success. Always create before you consume. I should do a whole thing just teaching on this stuff. You have to schedule you first. You have to schedule your goals, your dreams, and your vision first. Happy birthday, Rosalina. Can everyone give Rosalina a happy birthday? You have to schedule your goals first before anybody else. It is not selfish. You get up an hour before work each day and you work on whatever your thing is that will help accomplish your dreams. You deserve to take some time to spend on your dreams each day. You create before you consume. I got to work on working on a couple YouTube videos. I got to work on writing a couple paragraphs in my book. I got to work on whatever film I'm working on. I got to, before I get on social media, before I get on my email, because email is what? It's just like a convenient storage box for other people's agendas. People want stuff from you, they're sending you emails. Do not consume before you create. I'm going into a whole nother teaching topic. I'm going to stop. You're an eagle. You're an eagle. Deal with it. Now that you know it, how will you live? Are you going to fly out of the chicken coop? It's up to you. It's not up to anyone else. When you stand before God one day and you say, well, I didn't do what you told me to do, and I didn't do the dreams you put in my heart because so-and-so said I couldn't. Do you think that's going to fly? And you want to be miserable your entire life not going after your dreams just because someone said you couldn't? Who are they? And do they know more than your maker? If you have a product at home and you don't know how it works, you get out the manual, right? You get out the manual. What does the manufacturer say about how I can fix this? Guess what? That's what the Bible is. That's your manual. That's from your creator who made you. So if something is broken in your life, if something needs fixing, go to the manual. Go to the one who created you and see how to get fixed. Yeah. I'm ready for your Q&A. I'm sorry that went a little long, but I felt that some of you needed to hear that. Okay. Questions. Elena. I work at a chicken place. Okay. You really calm me, Katherine. Thank you. May I ask you why you have named yourself Idiot Crazy? I don't want that to be a self-fulfilling prophecy for you. What we call ourselves, we tend to believe. Thank you, Waylon. Santa, no, I do not have Snapchat. I've never tried to get on there. Thank you, Harley. Andrea, do you like playing the nurse in Dhar Mann? I don't mind playing a nurse. I've played a lot of nurses in my acting career. Thank you, Angela. Happy Born Day. Muhammad, I really love your videos. Thank you. Hey, CJ. When will you play Ayden's mom again? I just did this last week, just a couple days ago. It's fine. I named myself that because I decided to make a name that best describes myself, but that's the thing. You're not an idiot and you're not crazy. So why do you say that describes you? You say I'm not dark or hating myself. Okay. check into that. Check into that and see if that's really how you want to come. Elena says, I'm loving your books, Katherine. We'll do a read of some poems on the radio. Ha! Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's always hard to read it's sometimes hard to read poems. I don't know, to have that impact. My old coach was saying, you're not very good at reading your poems. I was like, well, so you're saying I can write them, but I can't read them? He was a Shakespeare teacher, so he expected the best out of me. All right, what's the difference between TV acting and movie acting, Jarrell asks. The difference has a lot to do with the size of the frame that you're watching. So, TV acting is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit broader. If you try TV acting, you know, TV used to be a kind of a small box, but people's screens are getting bigger and bigger. TV acting can be a little more exaggerated, whereas screen acting for film, typically you would go, back in the day, you would only be able to watch it in the theater. If you watch it in theater, thank you, Angela, it would be so big, the screen would be so big that if you even had a slight move or a head bob, it's such a big movement that when you're doing film acting, you have to do so very little. Like, and then like the Dhar Mann series, because most people watch that on their phones, the acting can be bigger because it's a smaller screen. It's the same, and then there's theater acting, and that can be even bigger because people, like, it could be a 300, 500,000 seat theater, and you have to do things that can reach the back row so they can understand what's happening, especially maybe if they can't hear all the way in the back. So for instance, in theater acting, you may say, "The girl, she loves me," because you want the back row to get it. When you're acting for like YouTube, it's smaller. "The girl, she loves me." You know, TV, it might be, "The girl, she loves me." There's still a lot of movement. Film, it's so close and it's so big, and it might be, "The girl, she loves me." So yeah, you spilled them everywhere. So it depends on the size of the frame. Depends on how big the image is that you're seeing. The bigger the image, the smaller the acting. If you're watching something, if it's a close-up like this, you can't be like, "Oh, yeah, this is great." You see how hard that is to watch? And this goes into acting too, film. If it's a long shot, if you're further away, you can be like, "Oh, yes, the girl, she loves me, it's great." That's not too hard to watch, but the closer you get, the less you can move. Also, there's focus issues with the camera and all of that. I know that was an extensive answer, but hopefully that helps you, because I know some of you want to be actors. Yeah, Eli, he spilled all the balloons on the floor. And now he's, apparently he wants to direct. Do you want to direct? Yeah. Yeah, so Eli says he's going to direct my next project. He's got the clapboard. He's ready. We're going to... And action! He's going to direct my next project. He's in my studio. We're going to put him in the director's chair. You think you can help Mommy act better? Yeah. Yeah, he says yeah. Yeah, he's got all the answers. He's 3. Action. Katherine, listen to a recitation of the Quran. I've read some of it. I've read some bits and pieces. Okay, it's kind of too loud. I'm going to set you down. Katherine, you have 2 different eye colors. Yes, I do. I was born that way. What do you think of arranged marriages? Well, not growing up around that. It seems kind of... that seems like it would be hard to swallow. Seems like it would be really a hard thing. I don't think that would work out for me. I think that would be like, man, how do you do that if your heart's not in it? I guess you just have to like suck it up and hope you can, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I would want an arranged marriage, and I don't think I would want to force that on someone. Maybe I've seen stuff of arranged marriages in the movies. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that too much because I don't think I approve of it. Okay, so Derek asks, what's the best way to wash the Dhar Mann shirts? If you're ever not sure how to wash a shirt, like if you're afraid it's going to shrink or something, then the advice is always to wash it in cold water and just let it air dry. Or you can put it like just in the dryer for a short amount of time if you're worried about shrinkage. But I have a couple Dhar Mann shirts and I've just washed them regularly, and I don't think they have shrunk. I think I've just gotten a little fatter. Okay, I'm not putting myself down. I'm just going by the scale, just so you know. I think I've gained 15 pounds since I bought my shirts. So I don't think they shrunk. Yeah, I think you're okay washing them regularly, but if you ever aren't sure, then wash it on cold, because hot water will shrink things. And hot water will also sometimes take the color, like make the color bleed. Kath, don't say that. I'm not putting myself down, Angela. I am stating a fact. Truly, I'm not hating on myself. I just somehow got the quarantine 15. It happens. Okay. Andrea saying hello. Mohana, are you all right? Katherine, I'm fine. Do I seem not all right? Do I seem a little off? Okay. Anyways, I'm going to try to head to bed. Thank you for plucking me out of the chicken coop, Katherine. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Okay. Vias, I worked with Julius this week as well. A small little thing. Okay. Okay. Please say hi, Yuvraj? Yuvraj. How are you feeling about giving that Kaido a shot of Dhar Mann? What do you mean? How do you feel giving that boy Kaido a shot in Dhar Mann? Oh, well, look, you guys, it wasn't a real needle. It was retractable. So it was a movie needle. So as soon as it makes contact with skin and you push on it, the needle actually retracts back inside to the needle. So it never goes into the skin. It's like there's the needle and it starts to tuck into itself. So it was a movie needle that never, never went in. Yuvraj, yes, I remember that. I just don't know how to spell your name. Yes, I have a P.O. box mailing address. Mona, inbox me. DM me if you want that information. Okay, what questions did you guys type up earlier when I was busy reading from this book, so I didn't get to it? Type in those questions now, because I am ready to answer them. If you don't, I'm just going to start talking about stuff. Okay. Do you consider Dhar Mann or any of the cast friends? Yes. Yeah, yes and no. Okay, so yes, a lot of people I work with, I consider them friends. I would talk to them about stuff, certain things I would talk to friends about. I would confide certain things in certain one of them. And I could see myself like hanging out with them outside of the set. The only reason I say no is because it's, I'm just so busy. And I think a lot of them are so busy that there is no time for that. You know, when you get in the parent stage and you're raising kids and you have to pay money every time you leave the house for a babysitter, you start to like not want to go out. You're like, okay, but then it's going to cost me $25 an hour for the babysitter or whatever, on top of the cost of the dinner and the movie and it gets to be, where you're like, you just want to stay home, or you just want people to come over, or whatever. So yes, there are, but we all also live like not near each other. Like people live from all over. Like for instance, Shantae, she drives like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on traffic, just to get to the studio. So, VS, have you used green screen on Dhar Mann? Yes. So they use green screen. They've started to use green screen on some of the driving scenes. Some of the driving scenes, if they like, I was supposed to, so I shot a driving scene recently. And because the other director, you know, there's 2 teams of directors for Dhar Mann. So they're each doing 2 videos a week in order to put out the 4 videos a week on Dhar Mann. They, the other director had the car mount. Now a car mount is something that like you rig up to a car, it holds the camera and it mounts onto the car, like sometimes through suction cups and other ways. So that films the car driving. But we didn't have the car mount. So we had to film a driving scene, but we didn't have the mount to suction the camera onto the car. So it's not like we could be driving down the road with the cameraman hanging out of one car driving next to us while I'm driving. I got to drive Dhar's Porsche for the first time this last week. So that thing had less than 500 miles on it. Okay, so yeah, we ended up using green screen to do the driving scene, and they will just then put on the green screen like stuff going by, so it looks like we're driving. Okay, do you remember your first Dhar Mann shoot? J-Boy, yes, I do. That was with Mair playing my high school daughter. And Carl was in it donating money to my daughter's education, and Vin played like the school administrator. Okay, so some of you guys want me to go back and read your questions, but I'm not going to have my finger scrolling up and down constantly. So if I didn't get your question, just put it in again. Okay. All right, this person, you're Raj, you're like really want people to say your name a lot. That's not really part of what we're doing here. We've already mentioned your name. Let's kind of give that a rest. Okay, did you see the video where Mair played the evil babysitter? Yeah, I just saw that. That was pretty funny. That kid got her good with his Apple Watch. Okay, speaking of mom life, I'm not prepared for tween life. It's not Natalie, it's other kids. So much bullying going on at her school, and I've already had to write a parent. Oh, yikes. My family doesn't want me. Please motivate me. I will do my best, but I'm not a robot that can motivate people on command. And some people can't be motivated. They don't want to be motivated. They may expect you to say a certain thing to motivate them. You really have to motivate yourself. If you need motivation, scour the internet looking for some. Listen to motivational music. Only you know what's going to motivate you, and do whatever you can to make that happen. Okay. How do I join Dhar Mann? It's not really something you join. You can audition for it. Watch my video on Dhar Mann FAQs, frequently asked questions, and I answer for people how they can do it. Angela said, but I didn't have a mom like you fight for me. A lot of people don't. And it's terrible, and it hurts sometimes, and it seems awful not to have a parent to fight for you. But I want you to know that a lot of people have not had a parent fight for them. People who've grown up in foster care, people who weren't wanted. there comes a point where we have to stop using our past as a way to stop us from going into the future that we want. So that may be true that you weren't wanted or weren't treated well or didn't have somebody fight for you. But once you hit that realization and you know that, then that's the time to start fighting for yourself. It's not selfish to fight for yourself. Because if God put a dream in your heart, it is your obligation to go for that dream, to accomplish that dream, to make that dream happen, no matter what anybody else around you thinks. Because you're not going to answer to them one day. And you don't want to live your life in regret. Do your live until 10. That would be exhausting. You can see I already have like a frog in my throat. How are the roles decided for each shoot? Do you get to choose the role and the name? Yes and no. Mostly no. We don't get to choose. So the way Dhar Mann does it is different than how any other film I've ever worked for does it. With any other film, they will offer me a project. They will tell me what the character is, what the project is about. Sometimes they'll let me read a little segment, a couple pages from the script to determine. Other times they'll let me read the whole script. None of that with Dhar Mann. What they do is they say, here's a project. This is when it's shooting. This is what it's called. Are you in or you out? And you just have to decide, like, I guess I'm in. I mean, I'm available. Then you sign an NDA, which for bigger companies, they do that a lot. They sign an NDA. That's a non-disclosure agreement. What that means is you will not ever share with anybody what the contents are of the script. It's like you don't let it leak. Some TV shows and film projects in Hollywood are so like ironclad, top secret, you can't tell anyone, to the point where when you audition, like some of those TV shows like Lost and big shows like maybe probably Game of Thrones, ones that people were like really invested in and wanted to see what was coming next, they won't even give you the real script to audition with. What they'll do is they'll give you a fake script that has nothing to do with what it really is.
Mommy, have you seen the Step Vacation?
Have I seen what?
Step Vacation?
No, I don't know where it is. So they'll give you a fake script that has nothing to do with it because they don't want it to leak out into the world what the episode is going to be about. So because they Okay. So they don't want the script to leak. They don't want anybody to know what it's about in advance. And sometimes you're having 50 or 100 people audition for a role. So, you know, if someone gets disgruntled and gets mad that they didn't get the part, they might tell the press or TMZ or someone, oh, I know, I'm going to spoil. You know what's going to happen in this episode? The main character's going to die, you know, and they let it leak and they let it out and it's a buzz on the internet. So agreements are, you know, you're not supposed to tell anybody what's happening, but then also they can give you fake scripts. Okay, none of that happens with Dhar Mann, but the non-disclosure agreement, because you know you don't want to tell people what's happening before the episode even comes out, and that's why a lot of times we don't post pictures of the shoot until after the video has come out. And we might post a random picture. You okay, bud? Well, you can go with him. Timmy, can you play with Eli for a while? Can you take care of your brother, please? So that's the story. So we don't leak out. So okay. So I usually say yes or no based on what's happening, like when the dates are. Now, there is someone who I worked with recently who, after she read a script, she didn't like the character because she wanted to be perceived with a certain persona. So she didn't want to play this certain type of character and wanted to wait to play this certain type of character until she was ready for it, because she's trying to make it as a big star in Hollywood, and she has what they call a brand. Like, these are the types of characters I play, and I don't want to go off brand. I just say yes. I'm like, whatever character it is, I'm game. It's fun. I enjoy it. I'm not trying to be a certain brand. So that's why I will play good guys and bad guys and everything in between, and homeless and rich, and I'm not picky like that. I'm picky when it comes to projects that are not Dhar Mann, because I've gotten in some crazy stuff. So other than Dhar Mann, I would never say yes to a script before I read it. But Dhar Mann is an exception to the rule. Okay, questions. I have 10 minutes left. I have 9 minutes left, technically. Thank you, Demetrius. Have you met Shannon Manno, who played the girl being dress coded? I don't know. I don't remember. I would have to go back and watch it. I would have to go back and watch it to remember who she was. Was she the Asian girl? I don't remember. I may have met her. Derek asks, how do you survive an hour on stage in high heels? If I know I have to be standing for a long time, I will try to not wear really tall heels, but like shorter ones. If I know I just have to like walk across the stage and sit down for the scene, I might wear higher ones. But you know, it depends on where you're coming from. Some women are of the mindset you have to suffer to be beautiful, and you have to experience pain. And you know what? After I had 2 kids, I decided, you know, I would rather be comfortable than look sexy. So I try not to wear heels unless I absolutely have to. Hannah says, me too. Okay. Questions. Questions for my last 8 minutes. Oh, Via said she was in the anxiety video. Which character of yours do you love the most in your Dhar Mann videos? Mohana, I made a video on my YouTube channel. Check it out. I answer that question. It's called my 8 favorite Dhar Mann characters that I've played. Because I've been in like 110. I couldn't narrow it down to 1. Okay. Please check your Instagram. Okay, I'll check my Instagram. I'm pretty good at answering my messages. Colin asks, what advice would you give to anyone coming out as gay or bisexual? What advice? What do you mean? You just want to like it's a secret right now, and you just like want to tell people that's how you are, or how you're feeling, or what you're thinking? Is there a certain person you want to tell? I think you should probably like go on like your browser, read some articles on it, because I'm sure there's dozens and dozens of people who've had to do that, and they would have good advice and good steps to take, and they could tell you how they did it successfully and what to avoid. I don't think I would be a good one to know what to say when it comes to that. Okay. Okay, who keeps changing their username? I don't know. No, Timmy, but you know what? I'm off this live stream in about 6 minutes. I'll make you some breakfast, okay? I haven't eaten yet either. We'll have breakfast together. Do you know if Dhar ever goes live? I'd like to chat with him. You know, I think he used to. I remember 1 or 2 times when we were at the penthouse where he went live, like when we were shooting the very last episode in the penthouse where we had shot like the first, where he had shot like the first 100 episodes. Elena says, hi, Timmy. So he has in the past. Now he seems to just do more stories. I don't know if he just doesn't have time or what. Someone, Via says, how do you perceive good peer pressure? Like if someone's encouraging you, like pressuring you to do the right thing, I think that's good. Okay, Steph is answering you, Colin, so reach out to her. She may have some advice for you. What is your favorite time of year? Christmas is mine. I kind of like Thanksgiving. Timmy, your friend Natalie says hi.
Hi, Natalie.
And I think she might play Roblox too. I think I remember Brittany telling me that once. You'll have to add her. All right. Next question. Blake asks, was evil foster mom shot at the studio? Part of it was. The flashback scenes were. But that restaurant there, that's a restaurant that we rent sometimes in Los Angeles. Okay. I've seen Dhar go live once or twice last year via Facebook. They were spontaneous and short. Yeah. Okay. If you felt nervous in front of a camera, what do you do? Oh, I should make a video on that. That's kind of a long answer. So I'm not going to tackle that right now with 3 minutes left. Okay, to the person chasing username, you are being creepy. Oh, changing username. Maybe they're getting in trouble. Yeah. Okay. So Timmy needs help. Let's go see what he's up to. I was like, should I cut it short 2 minutes or should we just go explore why Timmy's yelling for help? All right, let's see what's going on. Okay. Yes, do you understand anything about Roblox, Cat? Because I don't get it. But whatever makes our kids happy. Okay, what's going on?
Help me.
What do you need help with?
I can't get down because of Eli.
Okay. Eli, are you stopping your brother from getting down? Here, come here. Here, let me hold you. I got you. You're not going to fall. Ugh. Okay.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay, what are you crawling on these step ladders for anyway?
I promised to buy the cake.
Okay, how did you feel when you figured out you were pregnant with Elijah? I was excited. I was happy. I felt like it was finally time because Timmy was finally ready. I waited a long time because Timmy was just so high. Do I want to say high maintenance? Timmy just needed a little extra. He needed a little extra, and I wanted to wait till he didn't need so much extra until yeah, we'll just leave it at that because that sounds awful. But I also wanted to wait till he like understood, till he was like till I felt like he would be able to handle having a sibling. Now you're freaking out. Okay, let's get this for you. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I waited. I wanted to make sure Timmy was okay with it, and he did have a hard time, even though he was like, was he 10? I think he was 10 when I got pregnant, and he still had a hard time understanding, and he was still worried. He asked me one day if I would still love him after I had Elijah. He wasn't sure if I would still love him. Hey, Carrie. Any last questions before I hop off today? When will we see you in Dhar Mann again? Probably this week, because I've shot 2 now that aren't out yet. And I think I was in, did you guys see the one about the coma? I was in that one, I think it was last week. What do you normally do on bad days to make you feel happy again? There's a lot you can do on bad days to make you feel happy again. I think I have a video about that. But do what makes you happy, most importantly. Take yourself to your favorite restaurant or make your favorite meal. Listen to your favorite music. Watch your favorite movie.
And make your favorite drink like this, for example.
Oh.
Hershey's is sponsored. I'm joking, of course.
Or Timmy says make your favorite drink like this. Hershey's.
Syrup.
Hershey, that will make you happy. Put Hershey syrup in your milk.
Vanilla milk.
Vanilla almond milk.
Because I dumped the syrup in my mom got upset.
So, yeah. We bought him a whole container of almond silk yesterday.
And then I couldn't find the flavor, so I dumped it out. Mom goes,
He dumped the whole...
No allowance. The only allowance is to buy milk.
Yep. So, he dumped the whole container of silk down the drain. And that's like $5. So I told him he doesn't get his allowance next week because he dumped all the milk down the drain. That's your punishment. So he normally gets $5 a week to buy video games.
Mama, I
That $5 next week is going to be used to replace the milk he dumped down the drain. So yes, apparently today's episode in Timmy's mind is fake sponsored by Hershey syrup. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. If I didn't get your question, I am sorry. So what should I do if I feel left out from my friends? Are you really being left out, or you just feel like you're being left out? If you ask, if they're not including you and stuff, I would ask them. Like, hey, how come you didn't invite me to this? Ask them. Find out, why they're not inviting you to stuff. And if they don't give you a good reason, if it's, mean, then I would say get new friends. That's what I have to say about that.
Mama.
I got to feed these kids because they're, going for the gummy bears and chocolate syrup right now. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye.